All right. So now that we've done our energy exchange and we found out the energy that we would most benefit from having cleared today was self-destruction, and the energy we needed to call in was grace. Now what do? Well, we take our pendulum, because this is dowsing, and this part is called spiritual response technique because I'm using very specific charts. These charts were developed in the 1980s by a gentleman named Robert Detzler. If you want to, you can look it up and find out more about it. It's a very specific type of dowsing, a very specific type of spiritual healing modality. So this is not just any charts. I'm not just doing anything. It's a very specific healing modality. So we go to our chart 1, which is like our index, and we say, what is the root of this self-destruction? What is the root of this self-destruction? Because when we find the root, that is when we have the most success in consciously pulling out that root and developing a new life for ourselves, ridding ourselves of behaviors, of outdated belief systems, of obsessions, of addictions, of attractions, and really being able to move on fully. So the root of this self-destruction is a lack of self-forgiveness. So what percent is the collective open to forgiving themselves? 0%. What percent are they blocked to forgiving themselves? That took a minute. I don't know if you saw. So that's at my 65, 70%. So we're not 100% blocked, but we're like 0% open, which means in our heart of hearts, we are not ready to forgive ourselves. For whatever reason, we think that this thing that we did is so bad that we deserve to self-destruct over it. And so this is where I get to come in and we get to say, no, let's clear out that root of lack of self-forgiveness. Let's get it out of here. And then in its place, let's find some other things. The grace, for instance, that we were supposed to be calling in. And so now we'll ask again, let's ask another percentage question, which is what percent are we open to giving ourselves grace? 0%. What percent are we blocked to giving ourselves grace? 100%. So we're 60% blocked to self-forgiveness. We're 100% blocked to grace for ourselves. We are not open at all to this self-forgiveness. We're not open at all to this grace. So let's just dive in. Let's just dive in and see what's going on here. What can we do to pull up this root of a lack of self-forgiveness? It's interesting. Chart 15 elements. That's one that I just made. I just added some notes to one of these charts. So let's see what this says. I'm kind of curious because this has never come up for me before. So this is, that's so interesting. The Pentacles, Earth, stability, imbalance in our stability. There's an imbalance in our Earth energy. And so if we looked at, okay, well, what is blocking us from self-forgiveness? Maybe it's this feeling of being unstable. Interesting. So is this self-destruction something around finances and stability? Is this self-destruction something around finances and stability? 100%. So we have not forgiven ourselves for something based on the root of instability. So we haven't been stable with our finances. And part of the reason we've been self-destructing with our finances is that we are out of balance in our earth energy, our earth element. Maybe that means we've been too much in swords, right? Too much in our mind. Maybe that means we've been too emotional and we haven't been thinking about the need to actually take care of ourselves and be good with our money. So maybe our water element has been off. We've just been too emotional. We've been emotionally spending. We've been emotionally making financial decisions. And again, maybe then potentially there's also an imbalance in our fire energy and that wands energy of that passion. We're spending based off of passion versus on stability. And so that is something that we can look at here. So how do we get all of our elements into balance where we can make good decisions based on our passions, as well as our emotions, as well as our thoughts, as well as on that sort of practical, stable level? So what do we need to do? So how do we balance out all of the different elements inside of us so that we can make good decisions with money, so that then we can forgive ourselves, so that we don't have to self-destruct anymore? So that's how this all sort of plays together. Okay, higher level blocks, chart 18. What is going on chart 18? Higher level blocks. Blocks to our mental expression. Blocks to our mental expression. So something is happening in the mind. We're just asking for those to be cleared now. We don't have to research it fully. We just say, whatever is blocking our mind, we're releasing it right now. And if you can do a little bit of visualization with me, because that's what I'm doing right now. As I'm working through this, I'm doing visualizations, I'm seeing things. So right now I'm seeing the collective mind, I'm seeing the collective brain. And in my mind, it really is a big brain, just because symbolically that is the mind for me. Though I'm seeing the collective brain, and I'm seeing that there are blocks in this brain when it comes to financial decision making and financial pathways. And we're asking for all of that to be cleared right now. So whatever is going on in the mind, especially. So what percent now, before I did this clearing, what percent did we have a balanced mind when it comes to money? 0%. Now what percent do we have a balanced mind when it comes to money? 100% just by doing that. Okay, so then great, we got that out of the way. And so now what can we do to open us up to good financial decisions, to balance out all of our elements, our internal elements? So that last one was the mind. And so now what can we do to help balance our elements? Again, conscious mind programming type 2. So we're just going to ask for all of this to be cleared. There's something going on. A program in our conscious mind is out of whack. We don't, and you know what it is? It's outdated is what I'm feeling. So that is what I'm being told right now. It used to serve you. Some conscious mind program that you operate in when it comes to money used to serve you, and it's not serving you anymore. And so we just need to say, I release myself from any outdated programming that I have around money, and I download now a new program, the program that is going to be in my highest good here and now. I don't need to have outdated programming anymore. I don't have any attachments to this outdated programming. I don't have any addictions to this outdated programming. I can just let it go. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. I can just let this go. And now I have a mental programming that is in my highest good here and now, that knows what I need in this moment, that is not self-destructive, but it is also not super restrictive either. I'm not suggesting that we suddenly just make, crazy strict decisions and never spend another dollar. It's not about that. It's about just outdated belief systems in our mind about money in general. And I'm really seeing here this is especially for those people who feel controlled by money, who feel controlled by their obsession with money, by their obsession to be stable, or by their obsession to spend when they don't even understand it. It's like, I don't want to spend my money. I don't need to spend my money, but I literally can't help myself because this is a program that I'm running. And this is for those people right now. And so, do I need to go to chart 16? Is that where you're taking me? Yeah, okay. So what else is on chart 16 that we can take care of? So is this cast out of heaven, or is this rebellion to one? It's rebellion to one. So what's really interesting is I think many of you are not forgiving yourselves because you have been wanting to rebel against the norm. And again, I'm going to look at this on two levels. On the spiritual level, rebellion to one, we're just saying spirit clear it. That's the spiritual component to spiritual response therapy, spirit clear it. And then there's the psychological component of spiritual response technique, right? Robert Detzler was a pastor, and he was also a psychologist because he saw the spiritual side of things and the psychological side of things. And so that's always how I like to interpret these things. It's not just spiritual, it's not just psychological. There is this balance between the both. And you can use the symbolism that comes up in these words to learn something about yourself, to learn something about your subconscious, your unconscious programming and operating. So for me, again, rebellion to one, it's almost like there might be some of you out there who are making these financial decisions almost as a way to rebel. Well, obviously is that's just what came up, but it's like there's some, again, I see this as something you don't even understand. You're like, why do I have to rebel against the norm? Why do I have to rebel against what I know is right? Why do I have to rebel? Why can I not just save money like a normal person? Why do I have to be in one of the extremes? I see this as either people who are not spending their money on things that would actually benefit them and would actually make their life better. And this is also those people who are spending it without even needing to or wanting to. And it's like this addiction to just spending it. So there's two sides of this coin, and it's collective, and this is for both sides of this coin. You're either rebelling spending too much, or you're rebelling spending too little. You're not balanced in your spending. You're not balanced in your spending. You're not balanced in the flow of how money comes in and out of your life. So we're just asking for that to be cleared, and for all of you to take this moment to just say, how am I rebelling with my finances? Which version of this is me? How am I rebelling? Okay, so the same chart came up, the elements, and now it's the sword. Again, Our mental programming is out of balance. So is our mind operating sort of at a lower frequency, and this is about spending too much? Is this about higher frequency stuff? What is going on here? There's a higher frequency way in which our mind is just out of balance when it comes to money. Ooh, and again, maybe this is for those people who are trying so hard to be good, and you're like, I cannot forgive myself. I cannot do anything right until I have X number of dollars in the bank. And good on you. That's a high and noble desire to have $500,000 in the bank before you do anything for yourself. And also, I don't think that's serving you. Maybe that money would actually better serve you if you spend it and you do something great with it. You know, if you spend it and you actually get to invest in yourself, in your business, in your family, in your neighborhood, in your community, in a project, and something that would just light you up inside. So think about that and think if maybe your money isn't serving you just sitting there, you know, getting all, filled up in the bank. Again, I'm not saying be crazy, but there's something about this that somebody needs to hear me say. It's okay to spend your money if it's something that is a big investment for yourself. You don't have to just store it away. You don't have to just save it for a rainy day. Maybe that day is today because that money allows you to be the creative force that you are meant to be. You know, there is nothing wrong with certain kinds of spending and certain kind of debt. If that spending and that debt takes you to the next level of your business, if it takes you to the next level with, again, your creation, there's something here for me that I'm picking up about creators. Some of you are sitting on a bunch of money, and instead of using some of it to invest in yourself as a creator, you're trying to just sit on it. And that's not serving you. That's not serving you. Okay, so let's check our numbers again. So now what percent are we, open to letting the self-destruction go? 100%. And what percent are we blocked to letting the self-destruction go? 0%. Wow, so that was pretty quick. So now what percent are we open to grace, to giving ourselves grace? 0%. What percent are we blocked giving ourselves grace? 0%. So we really just have to open ourselves up to grace. That's all we have left to do here in this clearing. Okay, so what do we need to do to open ourselves up to grace? Fine-tuning, chart 17, fine-tuning. Okay, so what's going on here to help us open ourselves up to grace? We have some hidden curses. Some curses have been placed against us either by others in our current life, past life, future life, parallel life, or they've been placed upon ourselves. And this can happen so easily. It happened again to me the other day. I used an example in my SRT in one of these clearings recently. I was talking about how I was texting my sister about my niece not being able to sleep and that she had the family curse. And I was like, F that. I should not say that out loud or in text messages, in verbal writing or whatever, because it's just perpetuating this outdated belief that there is some sort of a curse against us. And so for anybody who has said the words to yourself or has had somebody say the words to you, man, you're just cursed with money. We clear that now. Anybody who feels like they will be cursed if they spend their money, and that if they spend their money, they will never get it back, we clear that now. I know. Is that you? You're afraid if you spend your money, you're never going to get it back? Well, I'll make sure that won't happen. You don't even pay rent. Whatever. Don't even worry about your money. So for anybody who feels like they will be cursed and their money will never come back to them if they spend it, and for anybody who has said, I'm cursed, I just can't save money, it's just like I'm so cursed when it comes to money, I clear anybody who has had that thought or had someone else place that thought on you. I am just cursed when it comes to money. Spirit, clear it. That doesn't even exist anymore in the collective consciousness. We just erase that entire belief now, and we release all of us from the ties, the cording, the connection point to that belief and to that curse. We're cutting it off now. Rosie says so. Rosie says you're freed from this curse. I feel like anything that's done in Rosie's name, that's going to be better, right? That is really helpful. Anything done in the name of Rosie the dog has got to be good. Okay, now what are we going to do here? Opening ourselves up to grace. We're clearing depression. We're clearing the energy of depression from anybody who needs it right now, especially as it relates to money, to investments, to inheritances, to abundance, to finances, anybody right now who experiencing sadness, depression, low energy, low vibe when it comes to money, resources. Again, that earth element, we're just clearing that for people now. What percent are we now open to grace? We're open 55%. What can we do to get us all the way 100% open to grace? 13, 14, chart 14, which is called pre-fall of consciousness. Ooh, what do we got here? Animal consciousness programs. Ooh, I always find this really interesting. Sometimes when I get this, I think like I talk to the person, like if I'm in it with a client, about like what their spirit animal is and what that spirit animal can represent for them. Sometimes this to me means like your base, your most survival base, like instincts. And I think in this particular case, because we're talking about resources, we're talking about survival, we're talking about money in order to survive, finances in order to survive, resources in order to survive. To me, this is that base animal instinct that is out of whack. Your base animal instincts are out of whack. You think you don't have enough to survive, but you do. You think that you're not smart enough or clever enough or good enough to get the money you deserve to survive. You think for some reason that you're always going to be in survival mode and never just like have more, have extra. You got that itch? Yeah. So we're clearing that for you now. We're clearing you from the outdated belief that you do not have enough to survive. And you won't have enough to survive. We are clearing that animal instinct of I must hoard, I must not spend, I will not survive if I don't, save this money. I mean, how could she be? She's just fucking cute. Oh, she's just the best dog. She's the best dog. I mean, I'm really glad you guys are getting the chance to see her face because her face is just freaking amazing. Okay, Rosie, what else are we gonna do here? Okay, all right, fine. She's ready to be out of the camera's eye. All right, that feels really good to me. So now, sorry, the birds are distracting me. I have birds outside my window and they do things sometimes to distract me. So now what percent are we open to grace? We're at 100%. This is my 100% over here. We're at 100%, so we're open to grace. Confirming again, what percent are we, have we cleared self-destruction? 100%. So we've cleared the energy of self-destruction. We're completely open to grace. Confirming again, what percent are we blocked to giving ourselves grace? 0%. Okay, so cool. I haven't done a money clearing for y'all before. This is exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. I hope y'all give me some feedback about how this was for you. And again, this is a perfect example of something that I can do for you individually. If you want to look at what the root of your money issues are, what the root of your survival issues are, like this survival instinct, this really worked up nervous system, like why can I not just feel safe? Why can I not just feel comfortable? Call me. We can have this kind of a conversation. Literally, we could just be sitting on the floor. We can just be like sitting on the floor together having this conversation. This doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be like scary. It's just like, hey, Kate, let's look at my blocks to money. Let's look at my blocks to like why I can't give myself some grace around spending my money or around saving my money, one or the other. So we're just going to do 100% of 100% of mop up, and we're going to look for our replacement energy. We already know we've called in grace, confidence. Oh, I love that so much. Beautiful. Confidence. That's what we need right now. So we're doing 100% of 100% of mop up. We're calling in confidence. Confidence that we can know how to balance our resources, that we can be in complete balance when it comes to our resources, knowing when to save and knowing when to spend. All right, folks. Rosie and I hope you have a great rest of your day. We may not see you tomorrow because I have to travel again. And it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a 1 day, 4 airplanes, go there, do my thing, come back. So I may not see you tomorrow. So I hope you have a wonderful few days. Have a great beginning to the month of December. Can you believe we're in December now? Well, we're about to be tomorrow. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all of the good, beautiful, abundant things that are going to be coming my way and all the big, beautiful, abundant things that are going to be coming your way this December. All right, friends, We will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.